Happy Friday. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, Gilliam, for joining the chat. And if you have to restart everything, I guess we'll see you in a little bit. Hello to Serenify. Welcome back to the chat. Hello, hello to man. Yeah, so it is Friday. I guess the last Friday of the month. Um, I hope the 25th of September. I hope you all are doing well. Yeah. How have you been? How is this week going? I hope you're looking forward to the weekend. It is Friday. What am I doing this weekend? Just groceries, I think. Groceries, and then I think I'm gonna get some. This is like the highlight. I think I'm gonna get some organization drawers like from the Container Store. I need to put in my pickup order for that, and then we're gonna go get it tomorrow. And then that way I can organize all of my craft things that are over there, and I can organize it better, and then I can like line it up better on my craft table. But Gilliam says my network is burning. Yeah, actually, as soon as we started this stream, my laptop is going. So, yep. Yeah, um, I guess, what? Gilliam says, "Oh, do I get groceries delivered?" No, we go get our groceries from this really nice, cute little local grocery market. We like it because it's a small business, but also they. I feel like there's a correlation between small business and how well they're implementing like COVID-19 measures. So they do a really good job of um, limiting the number of people that go inside, and they provide like gloves and like hand sanitizer. But also their produce section is like really big and beautiful, and I love it. So yeah, no, we don't get groceries delivered mostly because I'm really picky about my produce, and I'm like, I have trust issues when it comes to other people picking out my groceries. And that's why we go get them ourselves. Also, it's a really nice excuse to get out of the house that we don't leave. We only leave our place twice a week. So it's just nice to be able to go out. Yeah. I think I've just been working like super heads down on this project. Um, so I actually ended up moving the pitch to a Google Doc. So actually this is no longer an accurate title. Uh, but I've been just like super heads down on this project and trying to finalize a pitch for it. I actually got a first draft going, and then it was lacking. So I got a second draft going, and then I think I'm finally finalizing that second draft. Shout out to Alice, my studio mate, Alice, that helped me really edit that second draft. And then I'm hoping to either tonight or tomorrow send the pitch to a few different places, and then hopefully um, being able to get some financial sponsorship for the project. Because once I have financial sponsorship, my hope is that it will allow me to work on this full time in October, but also so that I can hire one like expert consultants about the topic, especially around the topic of voter suppression, so that I know that I'm handling the data correctly, that I'm presenting the data correctly, and that I'm not putting out anything inaccurate. And so that's really important to me. Like I'm really hoping the financial sponsorships will come across so that I can hire an expert, and then also, if possible, to hire someone to help me with the data, like cleaning the data, processing the data, so I can really focus on the design and code of it. Um, but this is all hopes. Here is to hoping that there will be companies interested in sponsoring. This is my trying to initiate a bigger scale project than what I've done before. It's like all very new to me to try and um, pitch projects to multiple companies. Serenify says, asks, are you still doing consulting these days? How do you like it? I am still doing consulting. So I'm actually currently working with a client. I have a deadline today to hand in the final, and it's been really, really fun. This is the client where it's going to go to print in 2 months, I think, if the schedule doesn't change. And it's been really fun to work on something that's print as opposed to web. Like there's just less less bugs I have to worry about because nobody's going to be interacting with it on the web, and so I don't have to worry about debugging. I can just export the SVG into Illustrator. Also, it's been really fun actually learning how to export my SVG, import my SVG into Illustrator and then working with it there. Just also kind of fun to be trying to get more familiar with Illustrator. And then that's actually also, I think this experience actually has allowed me to be more confident, feel more confident in this particular project, that I'll hopefully be able to do like smaller bite-sized charts in a reasonable amount of time, because I don't have to worry, again, I don't have to worry about like bugs and edge cases, and I can, and it's just going to be static. But yeah, so I'm still doing consulting, and then there's a few, I'm also in talks with a few people. So most of my time is still dedicated to client projects, but then there are some things that I just want to start and initiate myself, just because I'm like, well, this particular one is like, I'm really concerned. um, but yeah. Oh, Witches Who Code, hello! I love your handle as always. It says, glad you're streaming because I can use some motivation pushing through the end of my workday. Oh my gosh, I hear you. Super happy it's Friday, but also I think because of this project, I'll probably be working a little bit more today and tomorrow. Serenify asks, oh, yeah, these are great questions. Since I'm curious how freelancers move up and increase the hourly project rates over time. Like, how do companies, clients think about the quote unquote value that freelance design data viz designers offer? I'm curious, like, their perspective and the vocabulary they use. This is, I think, money is such a hard conversation, but a really good conversation, and it's just also like such a hard thing to decide on, and so my story is that when I first started, I had a certain rate. To be fair, like, I'm happy about sharing my rate like privately. Like, this is not something I try to hide, but it just but like, this is a like a will be posted publicly. But if you are curious, like I'm happy to, like, if you're curious as someone that's like, trying to go into the field, I'd be happy to share it privately. Um, and when I first started, the rate I had, a lot of my clients back then would be like, "Oh, that's too high," um, and uh, and then I think that was like for the first 6 or 7 months, I had, or sorry, not the clients I ended up having, but like potential clients that would reach out to me. They would hear my rate and be like, "Oh, that's too high," but it was almost a little bit funny because once I had a few projects under my belt, I think I distinctly remember it being like about like month 7 into my freelancing. I like had put together a portfolio website. I had a few like pretty successful projects put out there. And then the turning point was when I was able to get Google News Labs as a client, and was able to put that Google name on my portfolio. And immediately, like overnight, I had clients, potential clients, being like completely okay with my rate. And not only that, like I actually raised my rate. And then different potential clients, not the ones like at the beginning, but like different potential clients, almost overnight, people like would be like, okay, yeah, that rate is fine. So it's so what I learned from that is it really is, I guess once you get some bigger names on your portfolio, people be like, yeah, okay, like if Google pay for that, like I guess I can pay for that. Is like my personal experience of what happened. Um, and yeah, so I think that's a large part of it. There's another thing that I've noticed, which is, and this is something that I've been struggling with a little bit recently. So I think the rate, because there's like a balance between the rate that you set because of like the value of your skills, right? So like I know that like my skill set is really valuable because like I'm really proficient in code. Like I'm a good software engineer, but I've also taught myself like design. And so like I've kind of like trained my eye for it. Like I'm not, professionally trained as a designer, but like I've kind of really like tried to hone my design eye, like especially information design, over the years. And then I've like tried to teach myself data analysis also. So like I know that I have like a wide spectrum of um, skill sets, and I know that that's valuable. So like I know the rate that I feel is reasonable. But there are actually, depending on industries, like some industries can afford my rate. Like, so the tech industry um, can usually, like, without batting an eye, afford my rate. Um, but there are other industries that just can't. And those are like, a lot of like journalists, the journalism industry. That's really like that's really hard for them. A lot harder for them, just because they're much more used to like a lower rate from their contractors. And so I think then the struggle I have is like, do I compromise on what I know my like value to be, because I really want to work with, these like journalism organizations because I really believe in their stories that they're telling. This is something that I still haven't figured out the answer to, um, of like, you know, because I know it's really important for me to like really kind of fight for my, and I'm not always good at this. Like sometimes I like, you know sometimes I almost like undervalue myself because then I'm like, oh, who am I to ask for so much? But then, so that's why I have to like remind myself to like know my own worth. Um, and so it's that, and like, I like, because I need to fight for my own worth because nobody else is going to. But then, um, like, what does that mean when, like, if the client, you know, just really doesn't have that budget because, unless you're working with like uh, someone that's like either the head of the company and maybe it's a smaller company, or like, or if unless they're like super high up in the company, like they're not going to have so much control over the budget, right? Like they have control over their own budget, but like they might not have control over like how much they get allocated and stuff. So there's yeah, so there's a lot of, it's not just a knowing like how much I want like my rate to be, it's also kind of understanding like the client on the other side of like what they can or cannot afford. So that was a very long answer about about rates, and this is something I think about a lot and struggle with a lot. I've certainly taken projects that at the end of the day made my hourly rate a lot lower, but I just really, 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 really wanted to work on that. I don't regret them. And I don't regret working on them because they turned out to be projects I really, really am proud of. But I certainly wish that I don't have to make that trade off. And sometimes there's a part of me that also wonder if it's because of the optic of me being oh thank you so much, Nerdy Curious, for hosting my stream. um yeah, so sometimes I wonder if that's because of the optic of me being an independent, like individual freelancer. And yeah, but that's not a very productive place to go. Like sometimes I'm like, am I getting looked down on by like bigger bigger companies, or like am I actually like, what if it's that they actually have a bigger budget and they're just like, oh, we can hire her for cheaper, like she's okay with that or something. I don't know, but that's not a productive, place to go. So um the only thing I can do is try and figure out how I can present myself, so that like every potential client would be okay with the rate that I'm asking for, which again is very hard. So, William says at some point we'll all collectively use this stream to keep ourselves accountable. DT, welcome back. We've missed you in the chat. And oh. Gilliam, yes, it says this is shared on YouTube at the end of the stream in addition to VOD. What? DT, we've seriously missed you. Welcome back. Um, hello, welcome back to Stormbrider. Also, thank you for joining the chat. Oh my gosh, hi Pranav. It's been a bit also. Thank you for coming back. Gilliam says, anyway, I don't know what just happened, but like Gilliam just said, what just happened? Oh, I think Gilliam had a typo. Anyway, glad you could join us again, TT. Dolly Star, I'm sorry. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Dolly Star. Ooh, sorry. This is just small font. Hello. Says, hi, Shirley, I'm a data scientist, and my company and my team don't make too much effort to deliver great visualizations. This makes me sad. I'm following your work in the past 2 weeks, and you're such an, oh, thank you so much. I'm glad. I hear that a lot, that, a lot of companies don't uh, invest in great visualizations, and I think that's still like that's slowly changing. I think more and more companies are starting to realize the value and the importance of good visualization, um, of like thoughtful visualization. So I hope, and I think a lot of that is probably coming in from internally, from like people like yourself, that are starting to like internally push for better visualizations to be made. So thank you for pushing for that. But I think it's a change that's going to slowly happen, and that makes me really happy. Um, Yeah, that's exactly right, Gilliam. That's, Gilliam also says, you have such an awesome, that is such a great way to put it. Gilliam says, you have such an awesome opportunity to make absolutely groundbreaking suggestions to your boss if you play your cards right. I absolutely agree. Hey, Will, hello, great to see you. Welcome back. Will says, my parentheses limited experience. You don't have to say limited, Will. You do great work. My experience is that, yeah, journalism will almost never have the budget to afford true consulting rates. You have to just decide if the work is worth it to you and usually do a fixed rate typical for journalism, then fund yourself with tech business companies that can pay like 5 to 6x journalism rates. I also have a mini rant about how unfair I think it is that journalism as an industry do not get as much funding because I think, um, you know, it's such an important industry. Um, and there are such great journalists doing such great work, and yet, like, it's not like what I don't know. This is one of the things like that boggle my mind about the US of just how it's like one of those like how journalists are paid, like how teachers are paid. It just like boggles my mind of like why. Anyways, that's a rant that we don't need to get into. Um, Dolly Star says, "Yes, I'm trying to change this mindset within their company." Um, yeah, yeah. Gilliam says, in response to Will's point about journalism, that's really dangerously close to, but you'll get exposure. Another trigger phrase, the whole "you'll get exposure." Oh, I hate whenever someone's like, "Oh, can you do this thing for me?" That's gonna take a lot of your time, but you'll get exposure. These days, I think people are good about not saying "you'll get exposure." Um, because of like how bad of a phrase that is, but I think people still do it in like roundabout ways, and that I can go on and rant about that too. That really makes me unhappy. Um, DT says, "Oh yeah." DT says, "I'm so looking forward to listening to the Fret and Happy Hour episode. This was the first time I heard from." Oh, do you mean like that? That's where DT. Were you one of the ones that found me through Fret and Happy Hour? Because, yes, I did a recording yesterday. It was super. It's always so fun to like record with Fret and Happy Hour just because they're like so fun and like so jolly and super nice. They're extremely nice and like empathetic group. But yeah, so this is this is what happened yesterday. This was them trying to teach me how to use this new recording software. And apparently you can like when you screen share, like other people in your Zoom call can like draw over the screen. Which I did not know. Yeah, did not know this. But this is what happened. And we talked about imposter syndrome, which I think is really important topic to talk about. And then, oh my gosh, and then I don't know if they're gonna like announce this officially or anything sometime, but they invited me to join their regular panel, so I'm really excited. I'm a little bit worried about the potential like workload increase, but I'm gonna try and do it for as long as I can. I love this group of people. It's super fun to just like kind of hang out with them and talk, and also drink with them. um, and hello, accelerator, welcome back. It says hello, everybody, hello. Um, and DT says, yeah, they saw that they recorded a new episode. The Friend and Happy Hour recorded a new episode. Apparently, and I am so flattered by this, but apparently I am their most regular guest. Apparently, I've been on their podcast more times than any other guest. Very flattered. Uh, yeah, so Gilliam, we just recorded it last night, and I think they come out on a bi-weekly cadence. Um, and I think it comes out, so I think it comes out every other Sunday. So I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably slated for like the like next Sunday, I'm guessing. Um, and Will says, yes, totally agree, Shirley, about journalism being underfunded. It's so blood when I look at how much they can afford and then see companies just throwing money away. Yeah. Hello, IROC driver. In this economy, yeah, um, that's a fair point. IROC driver says, start of a depression. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty hard in the next 2 or 3 years, I think. And that's my personal guess. At the start of depression, I'd be concerned that I am not doing all I can to ask for what I need and to turn down a client who offers less. Too much uncertainty. Yeah, really good point too. Hi, Storm Rider says dataviz is such a crucial component, especially now with data coming from every single corner of private and public sector. Yeah, so I'm just like slowly waiting for the world to realize how important the dataviz is. um, Sorry, DT says, before I moved away, I think that was right when I found the podcast. Huh. Ooh. Hi, Nerdy Curious. Hello. I think I'm going to be live streaming with Nerdy Curious sometime in November. I need to get back to you about the exact time, date. And I'm very excited about what we're going to be talking on the stream. But yeah, Nerdy Curious says exposure equals I don't want to pay you, I just want free work. I know, it makes me so angry. Um, Yeah, I'll be on the permanent panel. So excited. Really curious. I'm surely on all the podcasts. Um, oh, thank you, Stormwriter. Says, um, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong of like putting myself out there. Um, I think I'm like in the last few years, I've realized that I don't do very well with like self promotion. Um, So, like, I don't like talking about what I can do. So, I'm like trying to slowly get better about like talking about my skill sets and what I can do, and like not be so because I think there's just like in Chinese culture, it's like really important to be like humble and like not brag about yourself. So then I've like really grown up that way, and I feel really uncomfortable saying like what I'm good at. And so I've been really trying to get better at doing that these last few years because it's really crucial to literally my livelihood that I self promote. Um, so yeah. Feeling her own stream. I need better self brand. No, I feel pretty good about the way like my brand. I guess what I mean is like I just don't like promote myself enough, or like promote the work I do. I don't. I think I might have said this in like a previous stream where I spend so much time working on a project. Like I'll spend like months and months working on a project. Essentially, I'm just really bad at PR because like I'll like do this whole big project, spend months on it, and then I'll tweet about it once, and then they just move on. Whereas I see some people that are like really good about like tweeting about their projects like multiple times, many times, and to make sure that people see it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think like my mind is as like. I also just don't like drafting tweets. And it's like, how can I make it fit into what is it now, 230 characters or whatever? It like takes a lot of time, and so I don't like but yes, I'm trying to get better at like promoting my work more than once, um, and yeah, I agree. Nerdy Curious says self promotion is such a weird thing. I feel like growing up, I was always told to put my head down. Oh my god, yes, um, that's exactly I think growing up how kind of what was ingrained in me to always put my head down and work hard and people will somehow notice you. kind of messed up. Yeah, I agree because people don't, I mean, I think people I think people notice that. Like I think some people notice that, but like not everybody notices that. And so that also that like thinking that I subscribed to for such a long time, like that also really frustrates me. And I also really wonder like who that sentiment actually benefits. I don't have an answer to this, but like it's just something that I ponder. Like this like humility thing that's so ingrained. Like who does that actually benefit? Yeah, that's a question I sometimes ponder. Um, and hey, Gilliam, wait, Gilliam asked, will you just take the win? Wait, what win? Um, and uh, Angry Moose on the Loose. I also really like your handle. I don't do much for promotion, and that's I recognize that that is a weakness of mine. And I don't do much right now. So, um, yeah, so that's what I'm trying to get better at. Anyways, okay, so for today's stream, um, what a wonderful tangent we went on. I really enjoyed that tangent. So for today's stream, um, we're going to what I want to do is I want to look at the Eves data, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna also upload the 2016 Eves data so that we can compare and contrast the voter registration numbers between those 2 years for all of the counties. So I'm actually going to start a new notebook um, where this one is going to be let me see, what did I do? So, there we go. And so, yeah, I'll call it, can I register to vote? And so in this one, I want to look at, yeah, so actually I thought about this, and I think a new, at least for October, a new time that I think I can sustain is 10:30 a.m. PST, which I think is 7:30 p.m. Central European time, I think. And then I'm thinking about an hour and a half, um, so from 10:30 to roughly noon. And then if there are more that I need to finish, then potentially coming back around 1 or 1:30 to like finish them up. So I think starting next Wednesday is when I'll move it to 10:30 a.m. PST. So I'll update the schedule about that too. So yeah, wish me luck at 10:30 about the whole 10:30 a.m. thing, because I am definitely not a morning person. Um, watch, watch us just end up talking for like 30. I mean, that's exactly what happens right now, where I just talk for 30 minutes. um, yeah, I'm so sorry about like how late it is for you in Europe. But yeah, for October, I'm gonna do it 10:30 a.m. So that way, just in case there's like more that I need to finish, I can have some time in the afternoon to finish it too. Um, yeah. So starting next week, next Wednesday, it will be 10:30 a.m. And then hopefully that's okay with all of everybody tuning in from like the U.S. time zones too. Okay, so I was saying I want to look at voter registration numbers across 2016 and 2018. And actually, I think what might be really good is to potentially expand this to like 2012 also, because I've been doing some reading And I've been especially doing some reading and watching about voter suppression. And what I've been learning is that the actually it was a Vox. Let's see, Vox. What was it? Elections. Sure. There we go. What long lines in the U.S. really mean. So this was a really great.
When Joseph Johnson went to vote in his first.
Okay. Really great video that really summed up like kind of the high level points. And so what I've been learning is that the reason why there is a lot of voter suppression going on in the last few years is because there was a 2013 Supreme Court decision to I don't know if repeal is the right word, but to undo a part of the Voting Rights Act. I think it was the Voting Rights Act that required federal oversight for certain states that have a history of racist practice. So these, anytime these states wanted to change anything about how voting worked in the state, they had to submit that to like a federal, submit those for federal oversight. And then there was a 2013 Supreme Court decision that repealed that because I think it was Alabama that argued that there's no racist practice anymore, so we don't need it anymore. And applying this selectively to only a subset of states is unconstitutional, I think was the reasoning behind it. But because of that, that's why there's a lot of practices that's been put in place. And this particular Vox video talks about, I think, Texas and Alabama in particular, that makes it harder to register to vote, or they're like shutting down polling places, or so that's why I wanted to look at the 2012 numbers and maybe 2014. And sorry. And oh yeah, Gilliam says, still amazed voting by mail ballot is a thing. Find it inspiring as a thing. I think yeah, I think it's really crucial right now this year. So I don't quite know what you mean in Green Moose on the Loose. BB5999, welcome for today. Thank you for checking in and saying hello. Yeah, so I'm going to look at voter registration for these numbers, and I'm also going to look at those. There's apparently, I was also reading up on like voter purges, which is like when a state, maybe it's well-intentioned, maybe not, go and remove voters from, I guess, their list that because they've passed away or they've moved away, or but it's a potential place for malpractice because of the categories where they can remove voters for felony, or if they've like deemed mentally, I think the word was mentally incapable, and there's been like a lot of there's apparently been reports of people who's been removed from the voting registration, even though they've like never committed a felony, or so there's reports like that. So I also want to look at um, vote, voters removed. And so I think for that one, I'll start with just 2018. Okay, so let's port in. Actually, maybe I should have, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it this way. So, yeah, so voters removed, so let me first actually do this where I look at the 2018. Okay, so okay, thinking. So let's do this. I'm going to do okay, so I have to first get Lodash, require Lodash. And I'm going to use 2018 data. And what I'm going to do is, actually I'll map. And I'm going to, all right, let's come up with the keys that I want. Actually, I think this would be really great if I can put this in a table so that it's much easier to look at. So observable will let me look for tables. Actually, I think maybe if I look at their 5-minute introduction, I'll probably be able to look at how to put them in tables. Nope, that's a taste of observable. Yeah, I think I might be able to do table here. Perfect. Okay, so, ooh, I think, yeah. So and the way to use tables is map, and then, so I just need to give back an object. Okay, so, ooh, I see. Okay, so I want to give back an object with, okay, I think I see what they're doing. Ooh, thank you, Pranav, for, yes, that is probably the original one. Yeah, okay. Ooh. Yeah, so this is how to do tables. Columns. Huh, I don't think I needed that fancy. Whoa, you can do, oh man, so fancy. Ooh, okay, let's try this. Oh, I see. Okay. I think I know how to use this. All right, let's go and import it from Tom's notebook. And then let us go and do a, ooh, cool. Whoa, didn't know you could do that. And put a bar chart. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Whoa. Cool, okay. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this cell. Whoa, you can do rank. Okay, I don't think I need rank for this one. Okay, so let's do this. And the data we want is use 2018 keys. And then I don't need rank. So columns, the columns I want is, let's see. I want the variable name. So is this going to be, so is this, okay, let's see. Name, Barney, okay. So, sorry. Or you can pass in formatter. Is that what it's saying? So, okay, I think I know. So, name, and then, I see, okay. So, let's see. Label, FIPS, format. Okay, so I think I want the label. Valid responses. Okay, responses. So, okay, I think I know. So label, what I want is to show label and put it here. So actually, I think I just need to do, right? I'll trim that label. Yeah. Dot here. I'll do this. Dot trim label. And for some reason, that doesn't seem to be happy, but we'll see. Oh, actually, so variable. And data preview while coding. Didn't we talk about this last time? Did we? Very curious. Yeah, I saw Spotify streams and I'm like, ooh. Okay, so I don't think I'm doing this in the most efficient way, but we'll see. Okay, and then for this one, I think I just want the variable name. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure there was a different way I could have done this, but it is too late. We've committed. Oh, cool. So actually, this is one of those, I see. So actually, the columns is not what I want it to show, but rather it shows all of them, and I just tell it like what it should. Okay, so actually, I don't even need this columns thing. Yeah. Okay. Great. That was much easier than I was expecting. Oops. This is why I should read. Yeah. So how do I tell it? Okay, so actually, what I actually want is, because these are all doing, so data with consistent data types across rows. So actually, I was thinking about this incorrectly. What I should actually be doing is putting this in a map and saying that I want to only see variable name and label. Actually, I guess I'll also accept the valid responses. And then returning variable name, label is label, and then I guess I'll call this Yeah. Yay! Okay. And actually, I can do, let's do everything else invalid. And then actually I'll do, should I do that? Responded does not apply. Responded data not available. Missing. So, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Dot. And then plus this plus b dot missing. Ah, okay, so I need to make these into integers. Perfect. Cool. All right. Wow. Wow. Okay. Great. So now that we have this, registration forms, total, new valid, new pre-registration, duplicates, invalid or rejected. Oh, wait, no. I want total registered voters and total active voters. I feel like I should try and find a methodology to see what they mean, what qualifies as inactive voters. Helium says, I like sticky headers on HTML tables. View Equalizer says, hello, welcome. And hi to Altern. Gilliam says, every time someone shares an Excel file, one fixed first row, auto filters. Yes, I agree. Okay. So let's go and get the total registered voters. So that's what I want, and so let's do this. Okay, so const keys that I want. So that's total registered voters, and then I also want total active voters. Yeah, let's get that. And then let's go and total new same day registration. So I'm guessing this means same day registration on day of. Do I want that? Maybe. But how do I use that? Total new same day. Okay, well we'll just grab it. And registration forms, new valid, new pre-registrations. Doesn't mean, okay, so I kind of want to, there's like some of these that I really want to duplicate registration. New registrations, invalid registrations. Ooh, in-person online DMV, serving. Okay, total forms, new registrations. Okay, let's not look up those for now. And actually, maybe we'll look at the new registrations. Do we have total new registrations somewhere? Mail registration drives. New registrations other. Oh wait, how did I miss the voters removed? Wait, what is going on? Wait. Whoa, I am now so confused about where... What? Okay, I'm so confused right now. Like, why is this... Why is going previous? Whoa, whoa. Okay, I'm not the only one seeing this. What the? Whoa. Where am I in this table? What is happening? How do I get to, okay, so that's not 17? No. 16? How do I get to the very first? All right. Okay. Let's rerun this. That was so weird. Wait, okay, so Gilliam has a question. Do you have a rule for when to add columns for ease of use versus when to reference that data from an outside data source? Perhaps performance-wise or sheer number of columns, or again, normalizing in a data storage context, but it's not the same in visualization, is it? So I'm guessing the question is like, how do I kind of like, is the question like which columns I pick out to use in the visualization, or when to reference that data from an outside data source? I guess, do you mean like, so when I'm building a visualization, let's say it's like a web page, and I'm building a visualization, do you mean like what I decide to include in kind of my JavaScript bundle of like my minified bundle of code, versus like what I decide to like fetch asynchronously? Is that what you mean? Or so I guess in terms of columns, so you have a data set made up of several TSVs. Yeah, Pranav is saying, I think he might be asking how you build a table from a lot of CSV files. Yeah, that I see. I try and do as much pre-processing as possible. And so I try to like, so you can think of this phase as like my trying to pre-process and get the data ready for whatever final visualization I'm making. And so it like, depends project to project, like which like data sets I decide to keep or which columns in the data set I decide to keep. But I, from a performance perspective, wait, yeah, what's your intermediate data like? Yeah, like we're choosing which columns and information you want to put in the table. Yeah, so I don't have like a hard and fast rule. It's just like I'm gonna say it's like by feeling. But no, it's yeah, it's I try to do as much as I can before before like the visualization, like actual building and coding the visualization. Especially so in this example, like in because the end product is not a web page, I'm not as concerned about like making sure that my data file is as lean as possible. But when I'm working on a visualization that will end up on a web page, then I will do everything I can to like strip out any columns that I will not be using in the visualization itself. So I try to like make it as lean as possible, unless it's already like a really small data file, like but especially if the data file is like over 1 MB, that's like huge for for one, just like for one asset for a web page to be loading in. So anytime it's over, let's say, I think anytime it's over like 100 or 200 kilobytes for the data file, I try my best to like be as lean as possible in like the columns that I'm loading in. So only data that is needed. Yeah, and I try my best to maximum keep the data files to 1 to 2 MB maximum. But sometimes like if you have like a really large static data set, but even then I try to like keep it to, and I try to sometimes if it's like the data set is like really big, then I'm trying to load it in. So it's like separating it into different files that are maybe like each file is under a megabyte. But then, and you know, that has problems too, because now you're like waiting for multiple files to asynchronously load into your web page, but gotta do what you gotta do. And do you just learn the lingo? Pranav says, I think it's like cross your fingers and hope it works so it makes the visualization process easier. Yeah, so I think it's, I keep saying like by feeling, but I guess I really do mean like after a certain number of projects, I'm like, yeah, like this is the columns I need or not need, or and I think I, especially with like a bigger project, what I'll end up doing is like there's a pre-processing kind of stage of trying to, you know, concentrate on the columns that I think I'll need for the visualization, and then I'll build the visualization, and then there's like another post-processing phase of like once I have the visualization in a form that like I is like very close to the final, then I'll like go back and you know, only keep the columns I use in the visualization. So that's like the post-processing. So it's like, you know, like if the pre-processing like narrows it from here to here, and then like the post-processing maybe like narrows it down once again or something like that. And again, it just really depends on the project. Yeah. Oh yeah. And all says data wrangling is the most time-consuming process. I agree. And oh yeah. Yeah. That is, well, yeah. I mean, the variable just means the variable in the data to like this variable. So, but yeah. Okay, so I got um, registration forms. So I guess what I got confused by was I was trying to find new registration numbers. So voter registration numbers. So this is, yeah, this is the total registered. And actually, I'm guessing registration forms means new registration. Um, oh my God. All right. So, registration, okay, that is definitely not, okay, I'm gonna stop making it compact. Um, I guess I'm stuck with it. Um, registration forms. When the thing that's supposed to help you doesn't actually help you. Um, well, I was hoping to keep it all in the same notebook so that I didn't have to like go. Wait, I think I might know what's happening. A5J. Okay, so this is actually, I have no idea, you guys. All right, I'm gonna just stop getting so caught up on this pagination. And I was really hoping that I could just work with this within the notebook so that I didn't have to like go and look at another, you know, spreadsheet. But I think we're gonna have to look in a different spreadsheet. Um, but okay, let's find that spreadsheet. Google Sheets 2018 election data. Okay. Okay. We ended up just coming back here. That's okay. At least I learned how to make a table. registration forms, total forms. Okay, so I think, I'm guessing this is total new registrations. New registrations. So I actually just want, invalid registrations, total forms. Okay, so then this is also one I want. Loaders removed. And then I guess the particular ones I want is these three. Felony, failed to respond, mentally incompetent. So I think it seems like I also wanted invalid registrations, but I think for now, let's not grab that. Yeah, okay. So for now, let's concentrate on those. And then, hello to Chris J. Mears. Hello. And Lodash, is it useful for nesting rows of CS files into a compact object? I actually don't think I find Lodash that useful for nesting. I think for nesting, I would probably default to D3 nest. Oh, actually, did D3 nest go away in version 6? I can't remember. But I used to use d3.nest to nest data structures, but I don't actually remember if in v6 it went away or not. But yeah. Oh, yeah, D3 nest kind of went away. Yeah, I don't think I prefer Lodash for nesting my data. It was supposed to be replaced by something, I can't remember. It should be in the release notes. So for D3, let's see. Release notes. Wow, they're already on 6.2. Whoa, cool! Look at all these things that got added. Huh. Ah, yeah, so it became d3.group and d3.rollup. Huh. Yeah, so haven't tried these yet. Okay, so for each of them, for each of the rows, for each row, what I want to do is return object with only with only keys. And so let's go and do map the keys, and let's wait, not a map. Okay, wait, I don't want a map. I want to reduce. Yeah, because I want to get back a object. So it should be, wow, it's been a while since, okay, so object. It's been a while since I used reduce. Okay, and then for the object, and then the label for it is, I'm gonna go and find it from 20 Eves, 2018 keys, and then so I want Yeah, I want the variable d.variable name to match the key and then get that label. And then I'm going to do object label is equal to d key. Yeah, return object. Yeah. Cool. And I'm going to trim that. Yeah, be good to trim that. Okay. So now that I have that, oh, and also I want to make those into integers. Perfect. Okay. New same day registrations. Wow, a lot of them don't have that. Okay, now that we have that, I should call that something. Let's call that Q1 data. And I'm going to now import that into my new thing. And then I'm going to map it. Yeah. Okay. So import Q1 data from this ooh, is it just there we go. Okay, so now let's plug Q1 data into some charts and take a look. So one of the first things I think I want to see is the curiosities I have is let's take a look at, oh no, I don't think this is enough information to, okay, so this is not enough, actually this is great because it's telling us what other data we need. We actually probably want census data because all of these are going to be absolute numbers. And then, ooh, hold on. So I'm going to first just, I think, map. Actually, do I want to look up this by state? Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at just the number of voters. Let's look at the voters removed. And then let's look at, okay, so let's just, which counties had the most voters removed. Let's start with there. And then the note I need to make is I actually need to also include census data of total population because right now we have these absolute numbers but then they don't mean anything. Like we can't compare county by county with these absolute numbers. We're gonna have to need like some sort of percentage ratio so that they're all normalized. But for the sake of time, I'm just gonna do one thing, which is to look at which counties have the most voters removed, and then yeah, because it's already 3:20. Gilliam asks, going back to what little I know about art concepts, I understand it usually gives a confidence score along the expected score. How do you represent it in your usual code vizzes? Do you mean like a kind of like a median versus standard deviation, or I've never done R myself either. But I guess like, can you elaborate a little bit more from the context of the question of like, was it something that I was doing that reminded you of that? But yeah, if you mean like median and standard deviation, I actually quite like box and whisker. Wait, yeah, box or some variation of box and whisker. Um, the underlying math concepts. Uh, so of what we're trying to do, or like in general. Okay, so let me go and import. Oh yeah, so I always, so the thing about stats is I was never that great at stats back in school, and confidence scores always confused me because it's not supposed to be that, like, when like when there's like a number, it's not like we're saying we're 75% confident about yeah, it's not supposed to be like this number is 75% correct or something like that, or that we're like 75% confident. um you know what, let me not try and give an explanation because I never fully understood that explanation of confidence scores. Um, yeah. um, yeah. I at one very, very brief point in school had a shaky grasp of confidence scores, and I have since forgotten it. Oh yeah, I was always super confused by stats, and always really loved calculus. Calculus really clicked for me. Calculus and trig really clicked for me. Um, but yeah, stats never really made sense to me. But Rock Driver said I was the opposite. I'm curious to know like what made stats really click for you, because I think for calculus, I think what really clicked for me was like that seems like it was very much a continuation of a lot of the concepts. Like it felt like it was building on top of a lot of the concepts that we have already been learning in math, whereas like stats felt like it just like wham bam came out of nowhere. Also, I really liked calculus because it was so tied with physics, and I always quite liked um, kind of the logical, like the nature side of it. Like I think for me, I was able to like reason about it, but stats never make sense to me as much, which I think is why I'm so bad at the data analysis side. I'm trying really hard to fix that. Okay, so oh yeah, I was about to do Vega Light, and with a like there's not. Where is it? Oh well, okay, you know what? It's fine. It's not. I'm just looking for the like import Vega Light. That's all I'm looking for. Where's my import Vega Light? There you go. And then, alright, so now I'm just gonna do a bar chart. VL dot, oops, mark bar, and then I think I want, so the data is going to be Q1 data, and then I'm going to encode So the X is going to be oh, silly me, I forgot to also add in the county. So that would be important. So jurisdiction name. So actually I'll do FIPS code. Yeah, that would be very important to have. And you know what, I'll just do the yeah, I guess jurisdiction name and the state. Let's do abbreviated state. Yeah. Okay, so now we should have what? Oh. What? Wait, why? What? Why are you not finding? Wait, what? I'm so confused right now. Oh. Okay. All right, that's a slight bit annoying. Okay. If the label dot format, is it format? Dot format. Okay, not okay. So okay, call it key object dot label. So if that is format is equal to a string, then let's can I do, yeah, okay. And then if not, then I need to make it into an integer. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. So now I can go over here and re-import. And now I'm going to encode the x-axis as a nominal field, and it's going to be the FIPS code, and then I'm going to do vl.y as a quantitative, and that's going to be the photos removed total. You are not showing up. Data.encode. What have I done incorrectly? What am I doing incorrectly for you to not show up? Ooh, what an interesting conversation going on in the chat. Yeah, Yeah, what an interesting conversation about. So Gilliam was asking Ira Driver if they're a more intuitive person, and so Ira Driver was saying that that's how in stats they only had to grasp a few concepts, and after that, all the problem sets look the same. Um, Very interesting conversation going on in the chat. Okay, so I think I'm going to take a pause here because I don't think I quite like the direction I'm going with this, which is like, first of all, I think that I don't quite like um, the names I'm giving it. I don't know if that's why. Q1 data. So I don't know if that's why I'm having trouble here or um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing incorrectly, but I think I need to take a step back, and I think what I'm gonna do is um, go and get census data so that I can kind of like put some context around each of these numbers. Yeah, actually, I want like the total adult population, and then yeah. So I don't know if it's these really long keys that are giving some problems when I'm using Vega Lite to try and explore it. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it here, and then hopefully when I come back next Wednesday morning, I'll have something a little bit more successful to share. And then yeah, I don't think I'm going in the right direction, and I need to like take a step back and yeah, and then reassess how to go forward. But by Wednesday, I should have it figured out. Um, Gilliam, I don't like the direction I'm taking analysis, and it's just like something small. Like I don't quite like how I'm formatting the data to do the analysis. One of these days, I think maybe it's that like maybe I'll have a better time if I'm doing R. I have no idea. But certainly R should be a lot better for data analysis than JavaScript is. Um, uh, but yeah, I'm going to end it here for today because I know it's quite late in Europe now. And I will see you next Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. PST. And I hope you all have a great weekend. And thank you so much for joining this Friday also. Thank you for coming along on this project journey with me. And hopefully, I'll have some good, exciting updates by next week. Thank you so much. Bye bye.